Hello and welcome to the Pixel Street Podcast, episode 107. This is the podcast where each and every week, three fucking nerds get together and talk about video games. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Joel Campos, and joining me this week is the man who has a chair that matches his headset, John Hansen.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I just realized that. Well,
so did
I.
I.
The green cord.
As I thought of that on the fly.
Oh, man, look at you. You're so clever.
Also joining us this week is the one and only, not a cop, Connor Kopp.
You really got to come up with some other intros for me, because that's the one.
That's the only one.
It's also so effective. You're right. It's
straight
perfect,
to the point.
I guess. Like, you found the best one. You don't have to move on. Okay, I get you.
Straight to the point.
Listen, do you see all this cool shit behind me?
He's got to keep me on my feet, though.
That's true. Well, you look like an egg. I don't. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
Part of it's that we just like making fun of John more.
You're right.
That probably factors in.
I mean, that's fair. I kind of deserve it.
Yes, definitely.
Just some house cleaning. Follow us on @Pixel Street Pod on Twitter, or search for our Facebook by searching for Pixel Street Podcast. We now have a Discord.
Heyo.
It's probably some weird link with a bunch of jumbly letters and numbers in it. But if you go to our Twitter, I'm sure we have that posted.
Yep.
Maybe we should pin that.
I've got it pinned.
Cool.
Right when you go to our Twitter, just click on, join in, bring your friends. We've got a bunch of different channels already up. You can promote whatever you care about right now, whether it's your own podcast, your YouTube channel, a friend's stream or something. The other day I promoted a book I read. Just whatever you want to talk about. We got an area there so you can recommend a topic of the show for us each and every week. And we've just got random memes and shit posts.
Can we make a channel just strictly for dogs?
Absolutely.
Oh, please. Yes.
I'll actually get to that right now.
I will post so many pictures of my dog in there.
Yes, please.
While I do that, though, I will also note that we are planning on doing some community gaming nights at some point.
If we get enough people, we got to get some Halo 2 customs going.
That I'm definitely thinking that's going to be the first one, because
bring it back. Tower of Power, man.
Yeah. So that's definitely something that will be on the way. So yeah, join up, meet some people, have some fun.
Yeah. At any rate, this week we're going to be talking about some very interesting news. Glad we were recording late, actually, because it gave us something to talk about.
Yeah, this has been brewing. Today's been nutty.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about some news coming from Fortnite and iOS, some controversy there. Halo Infinite and the status of the game. Yeah, and now Google Play. Halo Infinite and the state of the game, and Control in their policy on the next-gen upgrade. But before we get to that, let's talk about what we've been playing. John, take it away.
All right, so first of all, earlier this week, so just a little background, I live in Iowa, and pretty much my entire state got nailed by this huge storm on Monday. What do they call it? A derecho? I don't know how it's pronounced.
Yeah, we got hit by the storm too, and it was real bad.
It was pretty insane. Really high winds. If you still go outside, there's just trees laying everywhere. It was insane. We essentially got hit by a hurricane, which is just crazy to think about living in the Midwest. But after that, a lot of people lost power. A lot of people lost their internet. Mine just actually got turned on last night, so it's actually a good thing we held off on recording. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here this week. So in my downtime, when my phone service was working, I was playing games on xCloud. And I had talked before on the podcast about how I thought xCloud was really cool. I love xCloud, and that when you're on a Wi-Fi connection, it was working really well, but I had my issues when I was on a cellular connection. That worry I had is completely gone now. Like, I was playing on a poor connection because my cellular service was going in and out, and I just had a great time playing on my phone. The one game that had issues was the Master Chief Collection. It was very pixelated. The one match I played, and also the latency was pretty noticeable there. But other than that, every other game I tried on there, I did Sims 4, City Skyline, Sid Meier's. There was also some other ones in there. They all ran great and they looked great. So any doubt I had about xCloud being away from a Wi-Fi connection is kind of out the door, because like we're still in beta and it hasn't even launched yet, and it's already working so much better than it was just a few months ago when I last tried it. So definitely,
out of curiosity, with those issues you were having with xCloud on Master Chief Collection specifically, were you playing like multiplayer games?
Yeah,
like,
I played one multiplayer game.
And you were having a bunch of issues?
Yeah, it was I can't remember the name of it.
How
it was on Halo
your
2
phone connection at that time?
I will say that I have US Cellular, and everyone was losing connection. Like, it wasn't just internet and everything. My cellular connection was going in and out this entire week as well. So I will say that probably is a big reason why I had Halo issues. But I'm just saying, I'm not really focusing on that. I want to focus more on just how well it played the other games. Obviously, those games aren't as demanding as Halo. So, whatever. But it was still very impressive. It was a good way to waste my time while I literally couldn't do anything else.
Yeah, one thing that makes me sad is being an iOS user, I may never get xCloud on my phone.
Yeah.
Like I was in that test flight that they had going on, and it worked fine. Like I felt fine playing. I think it was Master Chief Collection that was on it. Like I didn't.
Yeah, that was like the only game on there, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the only one.
Yeah, right from the beginning on the Google Play Store. That one had like 50 games available.
Yeah.
The reason for it is Apple's got this weird policy where any games introduced to their platform have to be submitted for rating and consideration, and has to go through a whole approval process, which means that programs like xCloud then have to submit literally every single game that they want to bring to the xCloud service for Apple to review and go through, which is bullshit. I mean, it's already rated by the ESRB. You know, like I understand there's probably some financial reasoning behind it, that Apple doesn't want that that service on their devices or whatever. But,
it's obviously that they want to push Apple Arcade.
Oh, that's definitely. Yeah. Which to me is such a shitty stance. You know, it's really a paper thin argument, because they really don't even compete in any way, shape, or form. You're talking about two totally different classes.
I mean, there's also the rumor that Apple's thinking of getting into this space as well.
Right, yeah. Which I think it's going to be interesting. Well, obviously we're going to get to it a little bit later, but I think it's going to be interesting with the Epic stuff and Apple, what kind of changes are implemented or start to take place, is we're seeing, Epic kind of being targeted by Apple's policies as well. So, yeah, man, I really hope that those walls come down and we can experience xCloud on iOS, because that is a lot of users that are going to get locked out of this otherwise. And personally for me, like straight up 100%, it is the first time in over a decade of having iOS devices that I'm like, man, my next phone's going to be an Android, hands down.
I've actually seen a lot of people talking about switching, which is kind of crazy when you think about the whole Android versus iOS war. That's like,
but it also speaks to the value of like what Xbox is doing. Like it's such an awesome thing that they're pulling off, that it will convert people like that, which is super cool. So,
absolutely,
yeah, it's pretty shitty. Like, I don't think I'll ever veer off of the iPhone, just because I like it too much. It pisses me off that they're being so stubborn about this.
Right.
But we'll talk about this more in a little bit when we talk about Epic and Fortnite and stuff. But moving on. The only game that I've really played is I played a lot of Destiny 2. I see, Connor, you've played it as well, right?
Yeah, honestly, I haven't turned my Xbox on in like 2 weeks, to be honest with you. Up until yesterday and today, and I jumped into the Solstice of Heroes stuff a little bit, as that just kicked off this week. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it before I taint that conversation. Is that what you're playing? Is the Solstice stuff?
Yeah, so I just started playing that again this week, but I was playing like all weekend because I got a new TV and I got some friends back into Destiny. One of my friends who had never really played it. And we just kind of have just been doing like old quests. Like we didn't really know where to start. I know I talked to you about this, I think last week. And kind of what we did is we just went and like, I would just go into my quest log and see what I had and just start going with one. And then over time, I kind of just learned like what I need to do, where I need to get bounties for what I'm doing, stuff like that. And so we were doing that all weekend. And then we had no idea that this Solstice event was starting until the day it started. And we started doing it. And it's, I don't know, like it's fine. It's cool for us because we haven't really played the game when there's been new content when it dropped, like for like a few years now, probably like a year or two.
Yeah.
But other than that, like in terms of like, so basically what you do is you go there, she gives you like a blue armor set, which is a pretty low level armor set. Well, I mean like it's high level, but you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
Blues are usually worse
I think it's
than,
categorized
purples.
as like broken armor. It's what they call it. Have you played any of the other Solstice events they've done?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's actually a direct riff of all the other Solstice events, and the idea behind it is that you get this really basic armor set that then you have to complete objectives for. Once you complete all the objectives on every piece of armor, it upgrades to legendary, and then you get more objectives, and if you complete those, it gets masterworked at that point, and it actually is meant to drive you up to the cap. So it'd be a great thing for you guys to go through and grind, is it'll kind of fill out the rest of that power gap that you might be missing at this time. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the European aerial zone. Did you do that activity at all?
Yeah. Well, so for reference, I just made all my things legendary.
Oh, cool. So you're way ahead of me then.
Yeah. I like I said, I've been playing the game a lot. Like I just did that today before the podcast. I was playing for like an hour.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so I plan on seeing it through. I'm gonna try and grind it out this weekend, beginning of next week. But
yeah, that's my only huge complaint. If anybody from Bungie ever listens to this, is I don't know how they screwed it up or what happened, but now the European aerial zone, which is the only event that came with Solstice, like it's the marquee event, and you have to do it for some of these items. It is now susceptible to AFK farming. I jumped in the EAZ 3 times, and every single time I had somebody on my team just AFK farming, where they held down a stick and they're running into a wall or something, and it's just a really shitty feeling because I'm like trying to engage in this activity and I can't. Because I'm just kneecapped, like I'm missing a whole team member, and it's a 3-man activity, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I understand what you're saying. I did not run into that at all. I've played maybe 5 or 6 times, and I haven't had anybody AFK. But I mean, to be fair, like most of the time I'm playing with 1 or 2 other people.
Yeah.
So the chances of that happening are pretty slim, unless we get the one guy that's doing that. But overall, I think the event's fine. I do not like that. What is it called? The European aerial zone?
Yes. Yeah. EAZ.
I do not like that area at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool in terms of aesthetically, but like having to jump to the top of a building is super frustrating.
Yeah,
like,
if there's certainly explains why they don't use a lot more verticality in all of their other set pieces and designs. Because it's a bit of a chore figuring out the jumping puzzle to get to the higher levels.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna see it through. I don't know. I think it's fine. The legendary steps seem like a bit of a grind. Like, I think I need like 300 or 150 crucible kills or something like that.
Man, I have no motivation whatsoever to sit down and grind that stuff out. I don't know if I'm just like super burnt out on it or uninterested, but it's too much. And like it directly follows Moments of Triumph, which Moments of Triumph is effectively the same thing, where you're recounting a bunch of the stuff you did. You have to complete like this huge checklist to earn these items and whatnot. And now I'm just doing it all over again with Solstice of Heroes, and it's not a good feeling. Which is a huge bummer, because like that game's in a really good place right now, and for you, like just having that new TV, I have to say that Destiny 2, once you get the HDR dialed in,
oh yeah,
it is gorgeous.
It is so nice. I think I gotta mess with the HDR a bit because my blacks are a little too black.
Yeah,
like,
so
like it gets to the point
I'll text
where I
you
can't
after this because the implementation's broken. I'll tell you what the trick is. Once you can get it dialed in, it's real good. But cool. Yeah, I mean, you know, the game's great, and I wish I could play more of it, but I'm sick of this checklist stuff, man. Just give me that next DLC, please. And the fact that they had to extend this season means that it's going to be even more of a slog to get this crap done in anticipation of the next season, and that's a bummer, you know.
Yeah, once I finish grinding this out, though, I'm gonna try and look up some of the stuff that's being vaulted and try and start doing that I have not done yet.
Definitely,
just because I would like to get that done so that I don't have to, like, because we don't even know how long stuff will be vaulted and unvaulted for.
Right, that's the tough thing to say, is like, does everything associated with it go away? Because there are, you know, badges, triumphs. I mean, there's so much associated with these planets and destinations.
But I mean, like
tough.
I'm referring mainly to like exotic quests that have you
that
like
too,
go to a planet and grind stuff on that planet.
I've heard some people say that some of those exotics will move into the world pool, but obviously I don't know how true that is. So,
okay, but yeah, I'm definitely excited to be playing Destiny again. I'm glad that I have some friends that are, you know, grinding it out with me. So much so that we all bought the season pass. So, well, man, you know what I mean, like to the step, like a Fortnite season pass, essentially, not like a DLC season pass.
Battle pass, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely excited to be playing again. John, you still here, or did you fall asleep?
Almost.
He was tuning us out.
Essentially. Yeah, been playing more Overwatch. Still having fun. Connor, play with us. It would be so much better with the 6-stack.
Man, like I said, I haven't turned my Xbox on in like 2 weeks.
Like, legitimately, we are having a good time with 4 people. If we had 2 more people that we could talk to and actually trust, like, it would be so much better. Like, it's... Yeah, I mean, we've been playing a lot of open queue comp, which is just essentially the old competitive mode. And while we're searching, we go into random custom games and find whatever people have on there, and it's a lot of fun.
Out of curiosity, I'm going to pick your brain here with a couple questions on the Overwatch stuff, since I've been so outside of that bubble for a while. Is there any kind of news or date or anything on Overwatch 2 or what that's going to look like?
Nope. Last year, Jeff Kaplan said last year at BlizzCon that they were going to talk about Overwatch 2 at BlizzCon this year. With BlizzCon being canceled, who knows what's going on.
I heard they were eyeballing a potential like streaming event for early next year. I don't know how true that is, but that might line up with the timeline. So
if that happens, then that's probably where we find out more. Without pandemic, my guess was that Overwatch 2 was going to come out this fall, because it's really not that big of a leap.
Right.
But who knows? I mean, pretty much everything from Blizzard right now is up in the air. Like, we don't know much about Diablo, don't know much about the next Warcraft expansion. Like, there's a lot that still needs answered. And, like, when you talk about just the Blizzard launcher in general, it's fucking August, and we haven't even seen the next Call of Duty. Like, everything is up in the air.
So, obviously, we're ahead of it, but rumor is it's being revealed tomorrow on the 14th. So when this podcast goes live, everything I've seen points to it being revealed on the 14th. So we'll see how much of that's true. I don't know if I believe it. They've got to talk about it soon, right? Like,
get ready to pre-order your night vision goggles now.
Won't it be crazy, honestly, though? Because, like, what if it gets delayed into, like, early next year?
That would be nuts.
And for the first time in, like, what, 16 years, 17 years that we don't have a Call of Duty in November or October.
Yeah, go a whole year without a release. That would be
insane.
something else. I gotta say, the thought of there being a new COD kind of makes me feel real shitty. Like Modern Warfare, I logged on the other day and was just screwing around in it, and like obviously there's a big cheater issue. The servers have had some problems. This new season apparently is the buggiest season that's ever hit this game, but like Modern Warfare is really good. And
oh yeah, it's the best Call of Duty in years.
That's what I'm saying, is like now they're just going to throw another one out there and this one becomes obsolete. Like obviously they can still support it, but the player base is going to move on, you know? And
well, that's the talk, is that Warzone is gonna move between all of the different Call of Duties moving forward.
I just don't know that I have the bandwidth for another Call of Duty.
Right.
You know?
I'm looking forward to it because it's Treyarch making it,
yeah.
and I love zombies in Call of Duty. Like that's essentially the only reason why I bought Black Ops 3 and 4.
Zombies got way too confusing for me.
Yes.
And that's why I loved it.
Like I would join a random match and like have no idea what the fuck was going on.
Those are very.
It'd be like, oh, you got to go get this bubble gum.
Yeah,
listen, man. Just follow me.
They did a lot, and the story.
We got to go to the robot.
Especially in Black Ops 4, the story just got even weirder than it already was. They ended that Ether story, which had Tank, Dempsey, Richtofen, Nikolai, and Takeo. They ended that story in Black Ops 4, so it's, and also the guy that was running zombies since like the beginning, I can't remember his name, Vanderhaar or something. I can't remember his. He left Treyarch, so
no, Vanderhaar's still a Treyarch.
No, not Vanderhaar. Shit, like the main story guy.
Sure.
For zombies. Yeah. I can't remember his name. He left Treyarch like last year, maybe 2 years ago now. And so it's really interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see like what they do with zombies, because that is a massive part of the Treyarch games now.
Man, just give me a zombies only release. Like I don't even need multiplayer.
That's literally what I've been saying for years. Just like completely on the site, just release all of the zombies content. That's all
man.
Kind of like
they did like
with,
a remastered collection of zombies.
They kind of have.
Well, in
Black Ops 3,
yeah, they did, but it wasn't a standalone. Like I want something.
I want a standalone with everything, every map, every character, all of it.
It's so good,
amazing. Make that a game as a service, and I would stick with it.
I'd be into it.
All right, moving on. What else have you been playing, Connor? Because I got nothing else.
Sure. So I've got a fun one. You guys will have to stick with me here on this one. The story that leads into this is last time we talked about me getting more into fight games.
All right, what the fuck am I looking at?
Just stick with me.
What am I looking at?
So,
dude, you're a fucking Roni, bro.
Listen, all right, just calm down. We're gonna get there. Okay, the audio people don't know. Okay, so I had bought a fight stick. We were playing a ton of Street Fighter, me and a few of my friends, and having an absolute blast of it. Right. I finally finished my fight stick with all my new parts and everything, so I'll show that off for the video people here. It came out pretty well. It's themed after the greatest anime of all time. I will accept no other answers. So that, shut up.
Yeah, for audio listeners, that's got a giant Goku on it.
That's categorically false. But okay. So
and then the Rising of the Shield Hero on the side, because that one's.
We were looking for other fighting games. I'm just gonna ignore you fuckers. We were looking for other fighting games to play, and this one popped up on our feed. A few of the guys at specifically Ben Pack at Giant Bomb has been playing this originally because it was actually added to the lineup at EVO Online, which EVO is the massive fighting game tournament that happens every year, and.
Happened every year.
Well, they had to go to an online format for this year, and it was canceled, obviously. Mm-hmm. But this game was added. It's by a studio called Main 6. The game itself is called Them's Fightin' Herds. And on first look, you could very easily write this game off. And that's totally what I did, because this game originally started as a planned fighting game called Fighting is Magic, which was a My Little Pony fighting game. Just using all the assets and property and everything. So it was totally a brony game, 110%. Well, they obviously were, contacted by Hasbro and said, you can't do this. These ponies are cute and they can't fight. That's not how things work. And basically, threatened to sue them into the ground. Well, they pivoted and took a lot of the work that they had, decided to build their own fighter, and still came up with a quadrupedal kind of outlook on it. So like most of your games are, humanoid characters fighting. So having a four-legged creature doesn't seem like something that would work very well in a fighting game. But the people on this team, it's only a 9-person team. They're all like hardcore fighting game fans and hardcore fighting game enthusiasts. And this game was built for the fighting crowd. So it's super fluid. It's super smooth. They actually got the designer for My Little Pony to jump on board and create the characters and the art for this game.
That's pretty cool.
What a huge gift for them. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Right, which is really cool. And she was happy to jump on board with it. She was like, I understand what you guys were going for. It was super cool. Obviously you couldn't do it, but I'm happy to jump on board and give it a shot. So Lauren Faust, huge awesome shout out to her for being super awesome. So it's a very simplistic fighting game in that it's only 4 buttons. You've got a light, medium, heavy attack, and then you've got a magic attack. And it's built just like any other anime fighter, but it is so well done. The combo system is super smooth and fluid. I mean, the characters are hilarious. Honestly, I play as Arizona, which is like a cow, and just some of the small peripheral stuff in the game is so cool. For instance, in order to taunt, you have to teabag. So you spam down on the stick or on like a D-pad or whatever, and when they start teabagging, then they go into their taunt animation, which is just ridiculous and awesome. But yeah, it's just stupid fun. We've been playing a ton of it. It's $15 on Steam, and I have had such a blast throwing in with this game because it is just, above all else, an incredibly solid fighter experience. There's only 6 characters. They're all super balanced. Any high-level tournament play that we've seen come from it has been full of all of the characters. Like, there's no OP character. And they actually just announced a goat that's coming to the game as DLC pretty soon. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. There's a cow. There's a llama. I
see what looks like a little sheep.
Yep. There's a sheep who has a dog with her. Yes.
Tianhuo.
It's almost like a dragon, basically. And then there's Oleander, which is you're basically a My Little Pony, but it has a magic book and it can summon demons. So yeah, this game gets a little dark and kind of flirts with the nuttier stuff, but it's just so well done. It's an absolute delight to play, and if you have any interest in fighting games whatsoever, I recommend checking out. It is just done with such a level of attention to detail that you don't see happen very often anymore. So it's got my stamp of approval, and if that makes me a brony, then
so be it.
Yes, I accept it.
Sure. So I see. So you have a new
IGN gave it an 8 out of 10.
You have a new faceplate coming in for your thing, huh?
Oh,
My Little Pony.
I'm putting ponies all over this shit, man.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
How did this dev team think that they were going to get away with using My Little Pony characters in a game like this?
That's a great question. All of them are bronies.
Yeah, but still like you don't just make a game like this for you and your brony friends to play. Like,
right?
They were clearly going to try and sell it, but
oh, definitely.
I don't know why anybody would think that like you said, Hasbro would go for this.
I think
it's like if I took the fucking Wiggles and threw them into Mortal Kombat.
Right. I think they were just trying to get it to fly under the radar enough to be able to put it out and have some kind of release out there. Obviously, we've seen it before with other things, but in this era of the internet, it's impossible for things like this to not get recognized.
If it's any good.
Yeah, especially if it's well done, which I think is kind of what fought against them here. Is they had a couple betas that were put out, and the reception from the fighting game community on these betas was so overwhelmingly positive that it just blew up, and that's when the cease and desist came along.
Cool. Well, I mean, I'm glad you're enjoying your My Little Pony fighting game.
I'm having a lot of fun throwing hooves, man.
Connor's a brony.
I will probably never play it, but
I said the same thing when I saw it.
Well, I mean, I don't like fighting games at all, but I do. Okay. I can appreciate what they've done. Like, it's creative for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a really smart pivot from that My Little Pony thing, and like they do like caricatures of My Little Ponies in it that look ridiculous, and it's just super cool. It's got so much style and attitude while at the same time being an incredibly well done fighting game that it's and for $15, I mean, it's a low commitment. It's whatever, jumping into it and give it a shot. Josh is playing it, John, so you can't just yell at me. Okay. We've got a few of our other friends playing. Well, okay, yeah, fair. That's that checks out.
The math adds up. All right. Well, that does it for the games we've been playing. Let's get into the news. We got some big news. First article comes from Riley McLeod?
Nailed
I don't know how you say it.
McLeod.
McLeod? Okay. At Kotaku, the title says, Apple removes Fortnite from App Store as battle with Epic intensifies. Update Google Play Store 2. Following Epic's release of its own direct payment method for Fortnite on Apple and Android mobile devices this morning, Apple has removed the popular Battle Royale from its store. In response, Epic has filed a legal junction against Apple. All games on the App Store are required to use Apple's payment system for any in-game purchases, including, until this morning, buying Fortnite's in-game V-Bucks currency, which can be spent on skins, items, and the game's Battle Pass. Epic has long complained about Apple's requirement, which results in 30% of all payments going to Apple, is unfair. This morning, Epic started selling V-Bucks in the mobile versions of Fortnite at a discount via a new option to buy them from Epic directly. This violated Apple's rules and resulted in Apple kicking Fortnite out of the store. Therefore, there's no doubt that Epic knew this would happen, as they had a lawsuit, a commercial, and a pre-planned social media hashtag all prepped to complain about Apple as soon as it happened. So yeah, this is pretty intense, and they also banned it from the Google Play Store. And now So I sent this article to my friends who play Fortnite periodically, and one of them booted the game up on the Xbox, and they make you watch a cut. I think they don't make you watch it, but he said that to skip a cutscene when you launch the game, you have to hold like the back, like B or something, for like 10 seconds. So he was like, all right, fuck, I'll watch what it is. And he sent me a video of it, and it's like literally a whole cutscene related to like, you know, like fuck these mobile platforms, essentially.
It's a spoof on Apple. Apple had an old 1984 commercial.
Oh, okay.
And it's a spoof on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very tongue-in-cheek, but it's like borderline calling Apple fascist, which is pretty strong language here. So
what do you guys think comes of this? I mean, Fortnite was the game that kind of got PlayStation to play nice with crossplay, right? You think that they're going to be able to break this other barrier that, you know, we're kind of seeing with xCloud and not being allowed on iOS because iTunes, Apple essentially wants to get their cut of every game sold and approve every game that's on there?
Well, so the interesting thing with this is that Epic has had a very specific agenda that they've been pushing towards in the games industry as a whole for a little while now. You saw when they launched the Epic Game Store, they courted a lot of developers to their store simply for the fact that they offer much better pay cut terms than most of the other companies on the market. So like Steam, for instance, has a 30% pay cut. Every sale the developer has on Steam, 30% of it goes to Steam, right? While most other whatever you want to call it, ecosystems or storefronts follow that same 30%, and that's become the industry standard. And love it or hate it, 30% is a hefty chunk of change, to take cuts from some of these companies. And a lot of developers in the past have complained that that's why their games get shut down, or why they're not able to fund things, because you suddenly have to jump a much bigger hurdle in order to cover development cost. It's not just sell this many copies of the game. It's like, okay, well, now we got to factor in the fact that I got to pay 30% to this and 30% to this, 30%, so on and so forth. So Epic's been kind of marching towards this for a while, which makes the prepared response make a lot of sense with this video and this hashtag, and obviously the lawsuit that followed.
Yeah, this was definitely something that's been planned out for a while.
Yeah, they wanted to attack this and go after this, and I'm going to tiptoe here because I don't want to support Epic, because I don't want to make it seem flippant, because they're not the underdog. I mean, they're an $18 billion company. Like, we're not talking about some developer upstart or something. We're talking about one of the biggest video game companies on the market right now. And they're effectively trying to strong arm Apple and Google's policies for their benefit. Thankfully, in this case, it also benefits a lot of other developers and people in the games industry. But let's call it what it is. It is 110% them using their strength and their size and their goodwill with Fortnite to effectively strong arm these companies into not taking as much money.
It's also worth noting that if I saw a screenshot of that came from in-game on mobile before it was taken down, where if you wanted to buy the battle pass through Apple, you paid $9.99, but if you wanted to buy it through Fortnite direct, like Epic directly, it was like $7.99. So like they were pretty much offering a discount to pay directly to them.
Right, which 110% breaks their terms of service, because any purchase on the App Store or Google Play Store, they have to take a cut of. Like that is a super clear line. So regardless of anything else, Epic absolutely broke that agreement with their move here. So it's very important to make sure that people know that technically, yes, Epic was in the wrong for this.
Yeah, I'm really going back and forth on this, because at the end of the day, this is 3 multi-billion-dollar companies arguing over percentages.
Right.
Which
but at the same time, like,
it doesn't sit well for me. At the same time, it does benefit a lot of smaller developers and everything. My worry is we're seeing Epic do a lot more of this kind of stuff. At what point do they go too far?
Right.
I don't know what that situation looks like or anything, but because of Fortnite, they're really trying to show off how big of balls they have. And part of me wants to root them on, because like I said, it definitely helps out a lot of people. But another part of me is kind of like, I don't know. Something about it just doesn't feel completely right to me. And like Connor said, they definitely did break the contract. So this lawsuit that they're filing and everything, I'm not sure how well it's going to do for them, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see as time goes on.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I really wish I could see how much money Apple is missing out on because Fortnite is not on the iOS store for a month.
Yeah.
What I mean?
I think that's going to be a very interesting part of it, because you've got to figure you're taking 30% of that. We've seen some of the numbers that Epic has been turning over with the Fortnite sales over the past year or so. That is a large chunk of change, and you would figure that Apple wants to make any deal that they can whatsoever just to keep their part of that money. Because on the Google Play Store, so I didn't know this until I dove into it a little bit more, but even though Fortnite's been removed from the Google Play Store, you can still get it on Android, no problem, because you can just use the Epic installer instead. You've got other options, right? So maybe on the Google Play Store it doesn't matter as much, but on Apple, you have no options. It's either you use the App Store or you don't, and you get nothing. You can't grab anything from any other ecosystem. So, you know, for them to lose that amount of money, I think that's really the play that Epic's going with here. Like, hey, you know, at 30% looked real good, but 0% of nothing, still nothing. So why don't we do this instead? You know, so yeah, I'm with John on this one. It obviously has some good implications for some parts of the industry, but we saw Apple make a very similar move over the past couple of decades where they started kind of fighting the monopolistic policies by some of these companies, and then ended up
now
being the monopoly, right? So yeah, I think it's worrisome. It's no matter what way you cut it, whatever pony you got in the race, it's worrisome.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see how it plays out. I'm sure there's going to be some more news about this next week when we talk about it again. Yep. John, you want to take this next news?
Yeah, so unfortunately, the Xbox Series X will be launching this November without Halo Infinite at its side. Just a couple days ago, 343 took to Twitter and they put up a little announcement thing. This is from Chris Lee, the studio head of 343. Today, I want to share an important Halo Infinite development update with the community. We have made the difficult decision to shift our release to 2021 to ensure the team has adequate time to deliver a Halo game experience that meets our vision. The decision to shift our release is the result of multiple factors that have been contributed to development challenges, including the ongoing COVID-related impacts affecting us all this year. I want to acknowledge the hard work from our team at 343 Industries, who have remained committed to making a great game and finding solutions to development challenges. However, it is not sustainable for the well-being of our team or the overall success of the game to ship it this holiday. We know this will be disappointing to many of you, and we all share in that sentiment. The passion and support the community has shown over the years has been incredible and inspiring. We wanted nothing more than to play our game with the community this holiday. The extra time will let us finish the critical work necessary to deliver the most ambitious Halo game ever at the quality we know our fans expect. Thank you for your support and understanding. So this came out, and of course everyone was referencing the Halo Infinite trailer that was shown off at that Xbox Game Showcase, because there's a lot of people that thought the game looked bad. Personally, I thought it looked great, but I'm also just not a stickler for graphics. But Phil Spencer was on, what's the Gary Whitta show?
Animal Talking.
Yeah. He was on there, and he was talking about how him, Matt Booty, and I just closed the window. The guy that I just read the quote from, they were all talking about how what they should do with Halo Infinite going forward, because there was a bit of fan outcry, and of course I'm sure there's some kind of COVID related stuff there as well. And they were talking about how they didn't want to release the game broken up. So, like, the multiplayer may be done right now, but they didn't want to release it away from the campaign. They wanted it all to release at one time, even though the multiplayer is going to be a free-to-play version of that game. So that was kind of interesting coming out that Phil Spencer was like, yeah, I made that decision. I think it's better for the community. I think it's better for Xbox in general. I think it's better for Halo Infinite. Which is, okay, cool. Me, personally, I thought the game looked fine. But if they think they need more time, awesome, take it. Like, there's already very big games coming out this holiday, so this does kind of ease the load on there. It is kind of disappointing that the Series X won't have Halo Infinite at launch, though.
Does this affect either of your decision to get an Xbox or not get an Xbox when it launches?
No, I'm still getting it day one.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I'll still get it day one too, but like, it definitely sucks, you know, because like it was like the thing I was looking forward to. Day one. It was
definitely the big thing, yeah.
And now it's like I'm gonna get my Series X and I'm just gonna be playing the same games I was probably already playing, but in better quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's important to note here that, you know, a lot of sites are spinning this as, oh, here's one less reason to get a Series X, or there goes the last reason to get a Series X, right?
As Microsoft, if this upcoming console generation is only going to last this holiday.
Depends, right? Yeah, and the important thing to note here is that Microsoft doesn't care if you buy a Series X. Like that's not what they're going for. That's not the ecosystem that they're building. They're trying to make it so that you can play these games wherever you are. They're going to meet you there. You can play this game on PC. You'll be able to play it presumably with xCloud, whether or not you have an Xbox or not. You know, you have options. So to take that off the table, I don't think that it impacts Series X or the launch of Series X as much as people are saying, as well as the hype for it, because again, it just doesn't matter, right? In the grand scheme of things. It does suck though. I mean, I'm sad to see it go outside of 2020. To be honest though, at this point, I mean, I've kind of accepted that everything's getting delayed. I'm just waiting for them to announce the next Cyberpunk delay. Calling it right now. I'm putting my money in that pot. You know, and it certainly blows, but honestly, like, I don't think I could trust them anymore with this IP right now, because Microsoft's had a killer track record. Obviously Halo's had some stumbling blocks, but the amount of care and attention to detail that they've displayed in their development teams as of recently, and like Phil Spencer's really got out there to prove his involvement on the ground level, it just makes me so incredibly hopeful for what this can be and for what the rest of the games coming to the system are, that Absolutely. Whether or not Halo comes out now or in March or in July, like, we're still going to get a Halo game. We're still going to get what presumably is going to be a good Halo game. And you know, things are going to be fine. Like, the world's not going to end because Halo doesn't come out at the same time as the next Xbox, you know, especially I mean, it plays on the current Xbox that's coming out. Like, fuck, you know, like, just fucking play it there. If it means that much to you, you know, don't buy a Series X then, you weirdos.
Let's also just give some more props. I mean, I love Phil Spencer, but I want to give him even more credit for having the balls to delay Halo Infinite. Like, this was obviously, that's not an easy decision. Like, this
for
is
sure
the Xbox franchise,
especially just a few weeks after you had the big reveal for the game.
But it's the right call. I mean, that shows that they're listening. Like, there was obviously some blowback on it where either people weren't happy with the graphics or the showing or whatever it was, and they took a step back and said, okay, we hear you, we're listening, and we're going to make the appropriate decision. And that decision was that it needed more time in the oven. And I totally respect that. And honestly, that makes me even more of an Xbox fan, I guess. Just because, like, you know, Shigeru Miyamoto said, a delayed game is eventually good. A bad game is bad forever. Right.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an outdated quote with updates and everything now, but I get it. I'm just more looking at this like, okay, we're not going to have another Master Chief Collection situation where that game released completely broken. Yeah. Like, how are you upset about that? Like, that's good news for everyone involved.
Yeah. And it also takes off the pressure of having to buy a Series X. Like, you know, I think that's a cool thing.
Microsoft is a multi-trillion-dollar company, or billion, whatever, who knows.
There's no way to know.
They're going to survive you not buying a Series X this holiday season.
Right. Yeah. And once, you know, let's say you want to wait and you want to give it a year before you make a decision on it. Like, in a year, there's going to be a lot better reasons to buy a Series X than Halo Infinite.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, you know, this year, I think that it might be hard to find them just because of COVID.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, moving on, I guess now we know that the Series X is releasing in November. In the latest speculation that is going to be coming out November 5th, because that controller that has been leaking around Reddit and stuff, the warranty expires November 5th of 2021.
I'm going to correct you there. I think it's November 6th is the date that's being looked at.
Joel, come on.
I'm literally looking at it.
You're
It says
spreading
November 5th.
false information to our viewers/listeners.
End of warranty ends on 11/5/2021.
Right, but a year from it would be November 5th, not November 6th.
I said November 5th. You were the one that said November 6th.
No, that's what I'm saying is a year from November 6th is November 5th.
Oh,
That's 300.
I know.
Calendars, man.
Yeah.
How
do they work? They don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Who made these
Man,
things?
when is the Series S just being announced? Like, come on.
It's got to be this month.
Right.
Well, so to tie in with that, that was one of the other things with this controller that leaked was that it says it's compatible with the Xbox Series S and X. So it denotes
specifically has a line
the existence of another system, which is hilarious.
It's only been talked about for years now, but Microsoft is just like, oh, never heard of it, man.
That could mean anything. I don't know what that means on the box.
So the video that this guy posted
the Xbox
on Twitter,
sex.
He said that he found this controller, and he said in the replies, because everybody's asking where he got it, he said, "I found it on OfferUp and got it for $35 for those who keep asking." No fucking way.
Okay,
no way.
I'm not believing that.
Yeah, this dude knows somebody who works for Microsoft or some game developer, and got it.
I also
from
saw
them.
though that's like not the only situation that people are seeing this controller. Like a lot of people are finding it in areas.
So to add on and further prove Joel wrong, I just looked it up, and the box that the controller came in has a do not sell or display before date, and that date is November 6th, which is typically a street date for those items. So
but
Joel's
to be
wrong,
fair,
but whatever.
Mr. GameStop just laid the smack
Hey,
down.
To be fair, I remember when Xbox One came out, and I think you could buy the controller and accessories like a week before it came out.
Maybe.
Yeah, but you got to figure with shortages and stuff, they wouldn't go around this time, especially because, like, you don't need the new Xbox controller to play on the Xbox Series X.
But you could buy it to ban. Yeah, you could buy it on and use it on a current gen too.
Right. So I would think that they just drop it all the same day. So
yeah, we'll
is
see what happens.
November 6th a Friday?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. I just looked. That would be fucking cool.
I'm trying to think.
Man, that's really not even that far away either. That's weird.
No, yeah, we're in August, baby. Yeah, I mean, kind of like doing a little jump forward to our quick news here, but Phil Spencer was also talking about some strong Game Pass announcements coming up. There's been a lot of rumors of another Xbox event this month, so they're definitely gearing up for another big announcement here.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just typing something.
No, you're good. Yeah, and I agree. Obviously the rumors have been pointing to some kind of showcase this month, which I think makes sense if they have another console in the works. I gotta ask though, when do you think we actually get pricing information on these two consoles?
I think it's got to be this month.
Like, what does that look like?
I thought 2 months ago originally, so...
Yeah. Well, that's my question is, like, we're, what, 3 months away from the Xbox launch if it is November?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're talking about Call of Duty not being announced or anything. We don't know these new consoles, their release date either.
Yeah, I mean...
price.
You have to imagine, you have to know at least 2 months before the thing comes out. And assuming it's coming out November 6th, we'd have to know by September 4th.
Right.
Like Friday, September 4th. But who knows, man? Like I always tell people, like, the tweets one tweet I saw said we're gonna find out the price 2 months after we have them.
Yeah, after we buy them.
Yeah. I don't know, man. All right,
2020.
let's move on. Connor, you want to take this last one?
Yeah, I'll take this one because I'm mad about it. This article comes from Joe Scribbles. I probably butchered that, but I'm going to take that as the best pronunciation.
It's not a real name.
Yeah, it's made up. From IGN, it reads, Control will only get a free next-gen upgrade from the new Ultimate Edition. Existing owners of Control on console won't get a free update to its PS5 or Xbox Series X versions, but those who buy a new Ultimate Edition will. The Ultimate Edition was announced today and will be released on Steam on August 27th, followed by Epic Games Store, PS4, and Xbox One versions on September 10th. It will come with all previous upgrades and both of the game's expansions. Alongside that announcement came the news that those who bought the console versions of Ultimate Edition will get a free digital upgrade to PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of the game when they arrive, but those who already own the game on console will not. A product FAQ for the Ultimate Edition makes clear that the free, this is quote, the free upgrade path to Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 version of Control is only available for Control Ultimate Edition. End quote. The FAQ also confirms that the next-gen versions of the game will arrive digitally by the end of 2020. So this is not great news. Obviously,
it's
Xbox has been
Let's just call
pushing,
it what it is.
For sure. I mean, Xbox has been pushing this narrative of taking care of the consumer and what is the name of it? Smart delivery. Sorry, that's their terminology that they're using is Xbox Smart Delivery, and they're certainly pushing for these developers, but they can't mandate it. They can't make it something that a developer has to do to upgrade to the new system. So certainly we're going to see some people take advantage of this. One interesting thing that I want to tie to this is I found out that the company that owns the publishing and just the overall rights, I think the IP for Control is 505. Yeah. So not Remedy. Remedy doesn't own the actual IP. So this is most likely, it usually is with publishers, but this is a decision made by 505. They actually own the rights to the Control universe and any subsequent games in it for the next like decade. So they have this for a while. So I expect to see a lot more moves like this in the future. Which is unfortunate because this move is really crappy. I own the game digitally on Xbox, and I was super stoked to play the DLC. And honestly, I don't know if I'm going to bother now. Like, I don't want to throw that much more money. I've already done my time with the game and got through it, and it is what it is. But knowing that I'm not going to be able... Like, if there was a digital upgrade option for me to upgrade my basic edition to the Ultimate Edition or something, this would suck a lot less, because it's not screwing out the original players. But it, you know, that's exactly what it's doing, is it's saying, hey, if you want this cool extra feature, here's one more reason why you've got to give me more money that you already basically gave me.
Yeah. The thing that sucks is, like, for you own it digitally, so you can't, like, trade in your digital copy and use that money towards a new one. You essentially just have to have owned two versions of the game.
Yep.
Which is really dumb.
It really sucks, especially for one of the best games to come out last year. Like, that, obviously a lot of people that were excited about the game are already going to play it. So this just screws out so many people that would maybe want to go back and play it next generation. I cannot begin to express, like, just how disappointing this news is. Like, it's just a shitty move by 505 in general. Like, they've made a lot of pretty good moves here the last couple of years. Before this, they were pretty much known for being a crappy AA publisher. And now they're just trying to throw all away that goodwill that they've had lately.
Which is an extra bummer because, God, do I love Control. Like, Control is such a fantastic video game.
Absolutely.
You know, my time removed from it has only made me fonder for it, and that's probably what bums me the most about this. Is
especially
like,
with the announcement that Alan Wake's coming back in it. Like,
right? Yeah.
Come on, man.
Like, you're doing a bunch of cool stuff with the game, like, but you're going to make the decision to screw out a bunch of your player base. You know, like, it just, I don't know, man.
It doesn't.
This
make
isn't
sense
cool.
to me.
And
hopefully they go back on it.
Yeah, I hope that's the route they go, is they get some blowback from it and give some other upgrade path or something to this at the very least. But unfortunately, I think this is the breaking of the seal, man. Like, they came out, they did it, and now other developers are going to be like, wait, you're right. I don't have to follow that pressure from Microsoft. I can just charge more money for the shit I've already put out too. You know?
I still haven't played it.
I hope at that point it's so good, man.
Yeah, I want to, but ever since Phil Spencer like kind of leaked that it's coming to Game Pass, and then they're like, no, and it's not coming to Game Pass. What the hell was he talking about? I've just kind of been just holding out, hoping it comes to Game Pass now.
Yeah. Well, I think seeing this really shitty publisher move, I don't see it coming to something good like Game Pass. So
yeah,
you might be safe.
I mean, it's on PlayStation Now.
Yeah, but PlayStation Now sucks.
Yeah,
and they have the market.
No one does that.
It doesn't matter if it sucks. It's like the same thing as Game Pass, essentially.
Oh, don't shut up.
Whoa.
Those are fighting words.
Easy, Joel.
Right there.
It's their equivalent.
Right, but remember that PlayStation has the marketing exclusivity for Control. Yeah, they also had the DLC exclusivity for a time, so I honestly, even if it does hit Game Pass, it's going to be a long time.
So wait, is the Alan Wake DLC going to be delayed on Xbox again? Like the first one?
I don't know enough to answer that.
They only announced August 27th for the release date, and it shows the Xbox symbol there, so it was weird because the first one was like a 2-month delay.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 months, I remember.
Yeah, but the second one, they're not like saying anything about exclusivity. Maybe there's something weird there with Microsoft formerly owning Alan Wake, that they made a deal to have it come out the same day. I don't know.
Yeah, because I know that was one of the things people were really mad about, was the Alan Wake DLC potentially having a delay on Xbox.
Yeah.
But that wraps up the news. Let's get into the quick news here. First up, we have the Scott Pilgrim game could be on its way back. I've never seen or taken in any Scott Pilgrim entertainment, so I know nothing about this.
What?
Have you never seen the movie?
What?
No, I've never seen the movie. Is that the one that it's got Michael Cera, right?
Yes.
I've never
it's
seen
an
it.
Absolute classic, man. I highly recommend it.
What came first? Like, was that movie the first thing? I don't understand.
No, it was a kind of a manga kind of thing, right? Well, not a manga,
first
but
of the movie was first.
I thought it was like the comic first. I don't know. Regardless, whatever came first, the movie is great. Definitely watch it. I never really played the game originally. It was an Xbox 360 arcade game. It was a beat 'em up, and lots of people loved it. And it got delisted for, like, I think it got delisted like a year after it released or something like that. And people have just been wanting it forever. Actually, like an hour before we started recording, Brian Lee O'Malley, who's the Scott Pilgrim creator, he took to Twitter and he posted hashtag Scott Pilgrim is 10 and the love from everyone is too much for me. I feel faint and I want to log off. Reminds me of something. And then he put a gif from the show of what's her name, Knives, saying the love and it's smoking out and everything. And then he immediately followed that up with P.S. Ubisoft has reached out to me, and needless to say, people saw it because it's sitting at 26.7 thousand likes and almost 6,000 retweets on him. So people are excited. That's really awesome. There's been a lot of talk about even him wanting the game to come back, and just for whatever reason, it just hasn't been playable for years. Like almost coming up on a decade now.
So the game exists.
The graphic novel did come first.
Graphic novel, that was the word I was looking for.
So the game already exists. It just has not been playable.
Yeah, it got delisted. There were some rights issues. I think Ubisoft controls the game rights, and then obviously whoever holds the movie rights or whatever holds the distribution stuff. So it got delisted a few years ago. There was a big stink about it, and it was only a digital release, so there was no way for people to get it through like a physical means or anything. It was just gone, effectively. So people have been asking for a really long time, especially with the anniversary of the film coming up, or having just passed or whatever. People wanting that back, so it's been a huge outcry recently.
Yeah, very random, but also Forza Horizon 3 is being delisted next month.
That doesn't surprise me. They get delisted pretty frequently because of all the like music contracts and
Well, I think this is because of the cars.
That's possible too.
The car licensing. So worth noting that if you have any interest in that game, buy it now. I think it's on sale for like the Ultimate Edition and stuff.
Man, that Hot Wheels DLC.
Oh, that's
so good.
It's probably the best DLC in recent memory for me.
Yeah,
it's up there.
But moving on. More quick news. Kenna Bridge of Spirits will offer free PS4 to PS5 upgrade,
which is awesome. Not much more to say on this. This is that game that they showed at the PS5 event that had the girl with they're called rots, the like little fuzzy creatures. It's the game being made by Ember Labs, the guys that made the Majora's Mask animation forever ago on YouTube, and I am so excited for this game. It looks
gorgeous. I will say it's worth noting that on their interaction exchange or whatever, they mentioned that they don't have any details surrounding the, gosh, what do they say? The window of this free upgrade. So it does sound like it's going to be a timed thing that you'll have to jump on in order to take advantage of. Otherwise, it'll go away. But still cool news nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm all for stuff like this. Moving on.
Looking at you, 505.
Moving on. New image of Mario in the summertime sparks speculation frenzy. This has to be like a Mario Sunshine remaster HD something, right?
That's what people are talking about, especially with all the rumors of the Mario remakes, which I really want. I really hope they're real. So yeah, the image they put up on social media yesterday now, I think, was just Mario sitting on a beach, and you can see two boats in the back that are red and green. Mario's chair's red, and right next to him is another beach chair that's green, and there's two drinks there, so it's like, oh, Luigi's there too. So you would think that, but we also need to point out that Nintendo did the same thing last year, where it was Mario eating some watermelon and some swim trunks and everything, and they were talking about staying cool in the hot sun.
People are just so hungry for Nintendo news.
Absolutely.
It's because there's nothing.
Sure, right. But also,
Pikmin 3 Deluxe, guys.
Don't disrespect my Pikmin. Okay,
you know what? I don't want to, because I've never played it before. I just want my fucking Mario games.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure
all
we'll
those
hear
leaks
more.
had to have something, so
we'll hear more about whatever this is, if it is anything, I'm sure, in the coming month or two. Because Nintendo, they just really have nothing right now.
Yeah.
So they need to come out with something soon. Moving on. Strong Game Pass announcements are coming soon. I kind of think maybe this will be when Control is announced to go on Game Pass, but who knows? Wishful thinking.
I knew you were going to say that.
Everybody
give a title prediction right now. Let's go.
Control. Cyberpunk.
Fast and Furious, because it's garbage.
Oh, it is garbage.
But I want to play it so bad. I would never pay for it.
Too.
But I want to play it.
But if it was on Game Pass, I'd play the fuck out of it.
Day one stream from us.
There we go. All right. Well, with that ends the Pixel Street podcast, episode 107. We're not doing 20 questions this week because we recorded late and I still have to edit the show.
Is the game Fortnite?
No.
Ah, damn.
You were close, but not. Anyway, feel free to follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street Pod. We now have a Discord, so look at our pinned tweet. Join our Discord. Come hang out. Look at pictures of my dog. Look at pictures of me playing Ring Fit. You can find the show on Friday mornings on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcast, SoundCloud, wherever you find podcasts mostly, and on YouTube, as well as our Facebook page by searching for Pixel Street Podcast there. I'm Joel Campos. You can find me on Twitter at Campos63, twitch.com/Campos63. John, where are you on the internet?
On Twitter, I am at Revik Shadows. Also, we're going to be streaming some more here soon. Twitch.tv/Revik Shadows for me.
And Connor, what about you?
I'm on Twitter at The Real Birch. It's Birch like the tree without the I, so BRCH. You can also find me on twitch.com/The Real Birch. Like John said, we're looking to stream some stuff here over the next couple of days, so come hang out. Join the Discord. We want to see pictures of your dogs or shitty memes, whatever.
All right, that wraps up episode 107. We will be right back here next week for episode 108.
Goodbye.
Bye.